Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back. This is Joe, aka Joe the Wellness Curator, and this is the Obsidian Mindset Podcast. Welcome to BTG, or Behind the Gym. Where we sip a little libation and just talk about things that were either on my mind from the last episode, what came out of it, or what really went into creating it. So this episode is BTG 005. The A in social wellness stands for accountability. Let's get to it. Okay, so where do we begin? Social wellness accountability. Okay, got it. Just took me some time to get there. So what came from the last episode is we talked a lot about community and social wellness. And, for me, like I said last episode, for most of my life, I was someone that thought they were very independent. I just handle things myself. I'll just do it, put my head down and figure things out. And that it's a strategy. And like most strategies, it will work if the situations are right. But that doesn't mean it's the most successful strategy, right? And what I've noticed over the years is the more that I am using my social network for more than just friendship or more than just having conversations, but actually pouring into my community as well as my friends and my family, but also letting them know areas that I need assistance with, right? And this kind of goes into the last episode I had about my "Are you okay?" moment of just having those conversations, having having that dialogue about what's going on and what you need help with, right? So for me, I know this came up a lot, and I know I'm trying to speak more about physical wellness, that it really took me some time to realize that the physical wellness piece of my journey was a lot due to social wellness, right? Me being able to enroll and talk to my friends and family to assist me, right? To be able to say those moments where, I am pretty good at being accountable and I'm pretty good at holding myself to certain standards or to eating properly or going to the gym by myself. But we all have those days. We always have those weaknesses, right? And there's that one time where my friend was like, should you be eating that? Right? And it's not like, it wasn't from a place of judgment, right? But it was more of like, I'm trying to help you. And that could only have happened if I shared that journey with that person, right? Helping me become more accountable in those moments where I might have that weakness, or I might rationalize something or have an excuse ready in my back pocket. Cause I'd be ready if I need to, right? I'm like, but I worked out so hard, I deserve it. Or I'm only gonna see this person once. Let me just have the snack, right? That didn't make sense. But I could make it work. I can make it work. So I say all that to say it's really important to build your community and to really pour into and share your goals, right? In order to be held accountable, you have to share your goals. And it's funny because there are goals that I know that if I want to do it, especially the ones that scare me, if I know that I should be doing it and I have a back way out, usually the back way is not telling anyone, right? Because if I can hold it to myself, if I keep it in my brain and I fail, then guess what? No one knew about it. I can keep it pushing and move on like nothing else, right? But like I said, that's a strategy, which works, right? Because no harm, no foul. But is it working the way I intended it to, right? The goal is to achieve the goal, right? And by not having someone hold me accountable when I don't want to be held accountable, I'm doing myself a disservice. So what does this mean? This doesn't mean you go and tell everyone your business, because that is also an extreme that we might not want to do. But there are people in your close cohort, there are people in your circle, and if you don't have that person in your circle, maybe it's time to find someone, right? Someone that you could trust, and really share a certain piece of your journey, certain piece of your accountability, certain piece of your goal that you might want assistance on. One thing to note is that one, accountability. Two, or the other A is, appreciation, right? So by telling someone your goals and saying, oh, wow, I actually did this, they can now understand what that means because they've had that accountability with you. They're here with you on that journey, right? What else? It also gives you a sense of like, you don't know who else in your community is going through the same thing you're going through, or you don't know who someone in your community or your cohort, who they know, right? The amount of times I have said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to tell anyone about it. I just want to deal with it and like do the research myself, to find out that someone in my circle actually is an expert at something, that I couldn't have wasted money, time, resources looking up something when in fact the person was right in front of me. I just did not take the time to ask, right? Ways of finding ways you can share your goals, ways you can share what you're going through, and you have the support right there. It was right before you, in front of your face. So that's the tip. That's it. Just share more. Of course, make sure you're comfortable. Make sure it's not a detriment to your self-care. But yeah, share more. There's people out here that needs to hear your voice, that needs to hear your progress. And you never know who you'll inspire. You never know what support you'll get. You never know what tools and strategies you'll end up learning just by sharing with someone else. And, since this is a quick episode, that's all I have. And, it's funny because this actually was a form of accountability. This episode is coming a day late, and I am holding my integrity. I apologize for that. But it's funny because I was not going to post this week, and someone hit me. I was like, "Oh, why didn't you post on Monday?" And I was like, "Oh, wow. So people are noticing." But once again, someone knew what was going on. They held me to my highest possibility. They hold me to my account. They hold me to myself, hold me to my standards. And it made me realize, like, okay, let me make sure I'm holding on top of this. Even if I'm giving myself an extra day, I am holding myself accountable. So, it works in all spheres, from physical to spiritual to financial to whatever other areas of dimensions of wellness you have. So that's all I have. I appreciate you guys all for listening. Feel free to share with your family and friends. Feel free to please leave reviews and comments. I read them. Feel free to hit me up on my email if you have any questions. joe@definedbyobsidian.com. Feel free to follow my IG, Joe the Wellness Curator, or the IG for this podcast, Obsidian Mindset. And have a great day, and thank you for picking you today. Y'all are popping. I just need to stop. Y'all are really popping. And if no one's told you that, I'm here to tell you that right now. All right, y'all. Bye, y'all.